Cool. I bought these. It was recommended that I buy a headset, so I bought a headset and kind of struggled with it a little bit, but I've sort of bent up the microphone part of it, and it appears to be working fine. You know what? Let's rock and roll. I don't know I don't know if anyone's been jumping on my back, but I'm hot, and I've been hot for a long time. And when I get like this, you just jump on for the ride because it's been a hell of a ride. And I'm going to throw this chart up here, right here. And this is I'm going to put this chart up. This is the way I think. These are the markets I look at. My method is a little bit different than most, but the way I look at things, if it's not broken, don't fix it. And I mean, I came into the DTI trade room Friday afternoon at 2 o'clock and said, I'm buying the S&Ps and I'm buying the NASDAQ. And I mean that's and that was from one indicator, which if you read my commentary, you understood exactly what I was talking about. But here's the bond market. This is all last week. I remember through the course of the week saying, you know, I remain bullish, but this market is struggling higher. You know, with the Dow, you know, not collapsing, but with the Dow, you know, trading lower all week. This bond market, you know, should have been up here. It really should have been up here, and it struggled higher. And I wrote in numerous commentaries that the bond market is struggling higher. And here's the result. I mean, this is the result. This is I don't know. I honestly, you know, last week, Thursday, I celebrated 9 years clean and sober. You know, I like to say I have clarity. I don't know where it's coming from. I honestly don't know where it's coming from. But I'm seeing the market at the moment, and I'm really seeing it well. And this bond market, it was the bond, and believe me when I say this, this is the level I'm looking for. These old highs, and I think there's a high in here as well at 150.06 somewhere. Was it 150? Oh, right here. This high here is 150.06. We have a couple of Fibonacci levels at 150.04. I mean, this is where I will, you know, think about initiating another long position. And if the play comes to fruition, then obviously we'll be thinking about, you know, selling the S&Ps again. Hey, hello, Mike Madden. Anyhow, this was my key. Same thing goes here. These are the notes. You know, they struggled higher, even though look at on this last day on Friday. This was my key on Friday. This is why I say watch the treasuries. Watch the treasuries. This was my key on Friday. This is new highs for the move, and but I wasn't getting confirmation here. We got new highs, but they should have been up here. If we were getting confirmation, they should have been up here, and they weren't. This is the bonds, and this was happening. This was happening at 10 o'clock in the morning. This is when I started getting the warning flags, and this is if we recall during this whole move up here. Sometimes here, let's use this day as an example. This is November 7th, 150.10. The bonds closed at 150.10. The previous day they closed at 148.09. So the bond closed up 65 ticks, right, on that day here on November 7th. Let's look at the notes. 133.18 half. The notes closed up 28 ticks. So we had, what did I say, 64, 65 ticks versus 28. That's like, that's minimal. You know, they should have been, what that tells me is the long end is leading. And on Friday, when I got to Vegas and I made my phone call and I saw that the bonds are up 10 ticks and the notes are up 8 ticks, I said, oh my God, this is, and you have to remember, I've been writing all week. The bond market is struggling higher. So I'm getting a mental warning flag. But, I still had those S&Ps. And, and they kept on going down and they kept on going down. And I'm going to throw up this last chart, and this is the bond note spread. Now this spread actually traded at new all-time highs, which means that the yield curve is flattening. And when the yield curve flattens like that, that's an indication that we're headed towards recession. And I truly do believe that we are headed towards recession next year. It was funny. I actually met in the airport in Vegas on. I just sat down next to a 29-year-old kid who's a who's a tool salesman, and he was in Vegas for a tool show. And he's like, half the vendors that were there, in previous years were not there this year. His client base, are talking about, this and that with regard to Obamacare, and they're not going to be hiring people in 2013. They're going to be laying people off in 2013. So, I'm thinking, by the end of that first quarter is when we're going to really start seeing the markets, decide that they want to come off again. At the moment, we've still got fiscal cliff nightmares going on. I mean, Obama comes out over the weekend and says, everything's going to be fine. We know everything's going to be fine. They're just going to kick the can down the road again. But, look at the Dow. What's it up? 150, something like that. But you can see this when the bond is leading the way it was, that to me is a sign of an impending recession, flattening yield curve. But look at the 4 days in a row how this market basically traded sideways. And that was me saying, the spread is struggling higher. It's these markets are struggling higher, and the spread told me the same thing. And on Friday, when I saw that spread finally come in, it was like, and that's what made me write a bullish commentary over the weekend. That's what made me buy the S&Ps last night. That's what made me buy corn and the Canadian dollar. I knew I was on the road today, and I unfortunately took profits way too early, way too early. I had buy signals in the corn. I had buy signals in the Canadian dollar. I came in with a game plan last night at 5 o'clock, and I executed, and I made money, and I'm glad I did. But now I'm literally short these S&Ps here at 79.5. I was not 79.5, at 77.5, and I've been taking a little bit of heat most of the morning, and we'll see where they go. But I think they're going to come back. My point is, don't ignore the bond market. Don't ignore the treasury market. It will give us little signals. It'll give us little signs that that we want to get involved one way or another. Don't ignore the bond market. And I'm going to tell you another thing here. Last week, I bought these treasury notes. I can't remember how many times I bought the treasury notes at 133.28 and sold them at 29.5, 30, 30.5, 31. And here we sit again. The treasury notes traded down to 25. They're 27.5, bid at 28. That's telling me that we could see stocks start to come off here again. I mean, in all honesty, um, if 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 in an ideal world, if this is going to play out right, we will see the market close near the lower end of the range today and go back down. These S&Ps. Let's just throw up an S&P chart right now. I mean, here we've hit on the 200-day moving average. We've got some levels here at 76.5, at 74.75. This is resistance up here. This is resistance up here, and I'm pretty sure this 200-day moving average comes in at 79.20. So I don't know. I don't know why I sold 7.5. It's just because I did. I saw them actually trade up to 79.25, and it's like, you know what? I want to be short up here, and sold them in the hole, and they actually were a little bit in my favor, and now they're basically a scratch. But I'm thinking I'm thinking this. I'll be calling this tonight, especially if we close weaker. I'll be calling this tonight a pattern gap, and my target will be filling this gap. And we could very well, depending on what kind of weakness we see tonight, we could very well fill this gap tomorrow, and then firm up again. And historically, and I can thank Tom Busby for this. Historically, S&Ps trade Black Friday is a real good day for the stock market. Supposedly, out of the last 59 years, only 14 of them have been down days. So we will see how that plays out. But what I'd really like to see is for this market to come back, fill these gaps, maybe firm up on Wednesday, and then follow through on Friday, and then we let them have it again next week. So that's now. I'm short. I'm talking my book. Plain as can be. I'm talking my book. So you do with that information as you please. Hold on. I'm having a little coffee. But so there's our mini S&Ps. As I announced to the room earlier, this webinar today ends at 10:30 because I'm on the road and I need to pack up all my laptops and my monitors. I'm going to be in Chicago for 10 to 12 days. So text message. Yeah, so just yeah, whatever. You want to see a nice you want to see there's our buy signal in the Canadian dollar. Here's the follow through. How do you not love a move like that? Up 61 ticks. I mean, come on. Here. You want another one? Oh, sorry, that's a wheat. Here's the corn. Here's the corn buy signal. We're getting buy signals in the commodities. We're getting indications. I got an indication in the bond. These are the kind of trades where you think S&Ps and bonds will pull back. No, I think the S&Ps will pull back, and the bonds will just maybe from these levels firm up. What I really want to see is, because of the holiday and the garbage trade and all that, either on Friday or next week, we'll see this bond market trade down to that level I'm looking at, 150.04. Here, we'll just put it up here again. This level right here. I mean, I measured from this move. I guess I could throw in one more Fibonacci measurement, see if we get anything else from this one. No, I don't get nothing until 149.17. And believe me, if this starts, looking dodgy below this 150.04 level, this will be the level to ship them in, 149.12 to 149.17. I love this level right here. That the old saying goes, what used to be resistance is now support. This is resistance right here, 150.07, 150.09. This little high here is 150.06. We have two Fibonacci retracement levels at 150.04. This will be, and then if we start to get there, and just put this in your memory bank, because I can't hold your hand through this. This is trading 401 now. If we begin to see these kind of levels here, then you pull out your PowerPoints and you see if we got a point in this level somewhere here, 150.04, 150.07, 150.09, and that's how you trade. That's where you buy this market, looking for maybe 10 ticks, if you're a scalper, or you buy this market like I will, looking for new highs for the move. I don't think this move on Wall Street is over. I don't think it's even close. I think we still have we're either going to pull back here that last week in November, or we firm up now for 2 weeks, and then we have another look in December. When everyone's looking for the Santa Claus rally, the market goes the other way. So you can see all these indice markets, they all have big gaps. These are pattern gaps. Pattern gap means you look to the left. If there's trade to the left, that's a pattern gap. The thing that makes me a little bit hesitant, I would like to see a little bit more trade. It's only a big down and big up, so I'm going to be careful with this short position. I'll see how it trades overnight. Same thing goes in the Nasdaq. Here, this 68.5 level, is kind of resistance here. Now we're looking at 2591 to 2601. What's the Nasdaq? 2575. I mean, they love it. They love it here today. I think when all is said and done, we get back up to this 2630 level. This is maybe we get here by Friday. But I would if we can put in a better range than this today, then I think for sure we correct next week. So where else do I want to go? Where else do I want to go? A gentleman really fancied the Aussie dollar lower. I'm going to start keeping an eye on that. Met a gentleman over the weekend. Here's our Apple. I mean, uh, what was this? This was I started thinking, when I talked to Chet Fisher, he said, apples. I got up. I've landed in Vegas, and I called him up. He's like, Apple's trading 508. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, the first thing I think about is that 501. What do we get down to? 505.75. It's like I wrote in my commentary. You can lead a horse to water. I've been talking to bears since up here. This is where I've been talking to bear. If you caught any of this, more power to you. If you didn't, oh well. You know what I mean? I can only write the commentary. Um, and I don't care what anyone says at the moment. Is Chet Fisher in the room? Yeah, he's here. When I get hot like this, and I've been hot for a while, then believe me, I have a P&L to prove that. To prove it. I've almost doubled my account since July. I mean, and I had a good run going into this. So, I'm not really, I wanted to buy this market, and I just couldn't pay up. I mean, here's that crude. I put this chart out. This crude oil can easily go here. Absolutely, that's at 90 to 90.35, easily. Maybe today. I see the spoons are sitting here up here firming up again. Remember I said I wanted to buy cattle? I had a little buy signal here, and then the market corrected for 2 days, so I bought it on this day. What a nice little move that was on Friday in Vegas, taking profits. Thank you very much. It followed through today. Oh well, no big deal. What can I do? It was a profit, and in cattle, it was a profit. Thank you very much. Let's move on. I basically came here today to talk about the treasuries, to talk about how you have to use the treasuries to your advantage. And the treasuries set up this whole set up Friday afternoon for me. The treasuries set up today's move for me. I think at these levels now, what's the Dow up 161 points? Things have gotten a little bit overdone. I've already got some good money in my back pocket, so I'm playing with their money being short up here at these levels. Um, I, I wish I could give you more, but I now it's all about where does the market want to finish today? What's the market going to do? It's obviously not selling off much, so you may not want to jump on my coattails with this short, but I'm short and I'm happy to be short, and I think that's all you need is someone come out and say, oh, guess what, fiscal cliff isn't working for us, and we'll be 20 handles lower quick as you could say boo. So we already had someone come out and say fiscal cliff is working for us, and we're 20 handles higher. So I don't know. Is it going to take? What's the fiscal cliff? Okay, so let's kick the can down the road. I just don't. I don't see anything positive coming out of it. So I don't see anything positive anywhere. Anywhere. Not. My mother closed down 2 of her bridal shops over the past 4 years. I'll have a real good look in her eyes on Thursday. Mom's cooking Thanksgiving dinner. I'll have a real good look in her eyes on Thursday. She says one thing, but she's talked about if Obama got in, she was going to close her last store down. She had 3 bridal shops, so we'll see. You know what? I'm gonna turn it over to questions. I really kind of want to get on the road today, but I also wanted to really share with you what are we having for dinner. We're We're having meatballs. You're a meatball, Denny. We're having turkey. You are a meatball. My mom's Polish. For anyone in the room here who is my age or older, here's a good one for you. My mother was a professional athlete. My mother skated in the roller derby from 1950 to 1953. So she's a tough old Polak. Anyhow, yeah, turkey and pierogies. There you go. Now a little mashed potatoes and stuffing. Yes, yeah, yeah, and she still is a wow. And she'll be a real wow. I love walking into her place. I'll walk in on Thursday and I'll say to her, "Mom, what you still have that Obama headquarters sign hanging on your hanging on your door?" Oh, and then there'll be a few choice words there. Yen. What a nice little trade this was. Bloody hell. What a nice little trade. I want to sell it. Don't you worry, Roger. I want to sell it again. It's just where are we going to sell it now? Do we sell it back at this breakout level like 123.80? Possibly. I'm sitting on the sidelines. I saw what I felt was, you know, everyone turned the palms around again, on Friday, and it's like, this yen's been working for me real good all week. Let's just get out and we'll reevaluate. And what's it and basically I got out at 123.14, 13.14, something like that. It's 20 trade this morning. So I definitely want to short it, Roger. It's just the whole timing thing now, and if I can get any kind of move back up to this 123.80, maybe next month up around here, which is what 124 even 05, I'll start letting out a few. And I'm not going to let out a lot, but I'm going to let out a few. So I want to be shorted. I'm just not shorted now. And where to get short. The only thing I know is when we test a support line like this, it will usually hold the first time down. So what does that mean? I was kind of looking at this low here from last month, 124.44. If we get above this 124 even level, I'm going to start looking at my PowerPoints and doing some retracement levels. I'll put retracement levels up from here to here. Here, I'll do it for you real quick. You'll probably do it easier on a daily, but that's all right. You can do it here. I think I did this before. Not till 125.30. So I don't know if we're going to get that high, but let's put up a daily and see what she looks like. Here's your 124.54. This is halfway back of this final move down here. You can throw up one. I know I did this over the weekend just for my own benefit. This is something you should be doing for your benefit. 127.82. That's close. 120, not till the 125 area. So I'm looking at this. I don't know. I'm going to play it one day at a time. That's all I can do. That's all I can do is play it one day at a time and see how it goes. But I want to sell it. It's just where. We have this 200-day moving average coming in. That's 125.50. Now, are we going to get there? I don't know. I don't know. If we do, I'll be taking heat because I'll be short of 124.50. So, anything else? You got me for 8 more minutes. Roger, was that you that was talking? You must have sent it to your son or something, that buy signal in the Canadian dollar. Was that you or Gary? I hope you bought that Canadian dollar. Did you buy it? You had a chance. Is that your son who sent the chart to? I know. I can't. I know between. Yes. Okay. Yeah. I knew either you or your brother had a son who was a currency trader. I figured that's what you were doing. Nice copper symmetrical triangle daily through month. Yeah. How about it, there, madman? Copper, huh? What are you seeing that I'm not? Okay, so that would be one. Is this what you're looking at? Probably, possibly. You know, something's happened to the copper charts, and I don't know what. Yeah, I mean, and it went the other way, going back to October 2011. Well, this takes me back. Oh, here we go. Yeah, we kind of hit right on there. See, I don't know what's going on. My copper charts just don't want to. Well, we hit right on that line, didn't we, Gare? Well, that he definitely got that right. This thing needs to break out soon, though. They say it should break out at the halfway to three-quarter point. I would say if you, this is probably around halfway, so it needs to break out one way or another soon, or you can throw it out. Oh, right. Well, I mean, it's still there. There's no doubt about it. Here's point number one, point number two, point number three, point number four. It should have broken out here, and it didn't. So if that's the case, it could go higher, and it could go higher in a hurry. So anything else? Hello, Bernice. Bernice, I know you trade options, and I know there's a lot of people out there that trade options. And I'm going to tell you one thing. I talked about this in Las Vegas this weekend. Options. Plain as can be, I like futures. I'm a futures trader, and options left a bad taste in my mouth in 1987, and I don't want to trade options anymore. Trading options is like what I always heard about options from some of the real professionals I know. Well, first off, the true professionals sell volatility, so which means they're selling puts and calls. But a gentleman I gave a lot of respect to, a guy called Steve Wedwood or whatever his name was. I met him in London. If he liked the Canadian dollar, he would buy the Canadian dollar future, and I want to say he'd sell calls. His hedge was what he wanted to see the options position, his hedge, lose money, because then so maybe he'd buy puts, and then maybe the market would run away. What I know about options, and this is what I will share with you right now, and you think about this. If you buy, let's say you buy a call, I don't care what it is. Let's say you buy a call, something just out of the money a little bit. If the market goes, there's four things that can happen when you buy a call. If the market goes down, you lose money. If the market trades sideways, you lose money. If the market goes higher, but it doesn't go higher quick enough, you lose money. The only way you can make money buying a call is the market has to go higher, and it has to go higher quickly. So why do you think the professionals sell calls and sell puts? Because they got a 3 and 4 chance of making money. And the general public is always buying options. They don't understand. They don't understand being short. They don't even understand being short. The gold. They want people. The way I look at it, people who buy puts and calls are trying to hit home runs, and instead of just looking for instead of just buying the future or just buying the outright stock. So did that help, Bernice? I mean, I don't. When the odds are 1 to 4 for me buying a put or buying a call, I don't want to have anything to do with it. I'd rather just buy the future and see how it goes. You know, I mean, right now, if I'd have sold a put, like a put that expires at the end of the day here, I'd be sitting here, sell a put, no, sell a call, buy a put. I'd be sitting here, the thing would be trading sideways on me all day long. Yes, I understand. I primarily sell options. Well, then good. Well, then good. Yeah, I mean, if you're selling volatility, then you're making money. And if I know, British, you've been trading options for a long, long time. So, any other questions? I really kind of want to wrap it up here. Hey, I hope even if you haven't jumped on my back for every bit of a move, I've been smoking hot, and I don't know when it's going to come to an end. But at the moment it's even if you didn't catch it all, if you've caught a lot of these moves, you're making money, and that's the most important thing. So, all right, thank you very much. I'm going to hit it. Cheers. I'll be back next week, same time, same station next week. Happy Thanksgiving, all. I'll be writing tonight. You'll get my commentary. Cheers, all.